Hello, loves. Thank you so much for joining this awesome and much needed conversation today with advocate of mental health and suicide awareness and prevention, also writer, Kimberly Minter, aka Kay. I'm Mia Mendez, and we're about to have an amazing conversation all about your journey and who you are. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So I think I kind of already know the answer to this because we spoke a little bit before this started, but how are you feeling today?
Today or just in general? Like, I got in an accident on the way here. So I'm a little frazzled, but I'm good.
Yes,
but
you
in
made
its
it.
totality, I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm great, especially after the journey I had. I can honestly say, like, I focused on the silver lining of everything.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Yeah, we talked about that a bit, like, just with the obstacle of the accident coming here, right? And thankfully, she is very well and everything's okay.
Yes.
But, it's something we have to practice and kind of train ourselves to do. When certain things like that happen. We can let that spiral into a completely negative day.
Absolutely.
So what do you do in those moments? What is it that centers you?
So what I do is, like you just said, I'm here. I'm alive. I have all my limbs.
Yes.
But what I've learned to do is to process my feelings. So I don't resist it, because what you resist persists. So if I just basically get into the idea of, okay, it could have been worse, or whatever the case may be. My main thing is to just identify the feelings that I feel and to be in that moment, to be present in that moment, and basically allow myself to feel. And then once I'm done feeling it, I'm like, oh, okay, so now what I need to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that just takes a couple minutes, like a pause.
It does.
A pause.
I need to regroup and be like, okay, this happened, that happened. All right, but it could have been worse. I could have been in a hospital. I could have missed my interview with me. There's so many other things that could have occurred. So it's like, I'm still here, and it's a car. I have insurance. I can replace it.
Look at that. Amen.
You know what I mean? But I was disappointed. So I had to process that disappointment. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, that could have been avoided. But so I just felt how I felt, and now I'm like dusting it off, and I'm happy to be here.
And we're here. Yes, absolutely. So I've been excited all week to speak to you because I think that the conversation around mental health and suicide awareness and prevention is one that is slowly beginning to rise. And so it does have still a long way to go, right? But I'm happy to see someone like you in your seat that is part of being an active voice in that, right? So like, what, I guess I want to take it back a little bit first, because just for those that may not know, you're originally from Willingboro, New Jersey.
Yes.
Right, so South Jersey, for people that might not know. So we have a little bit of a rival, because we're currently at a studio in Philadelphia. So Philly, Jersey has this thing, especially South Jersey. Speaking of accidents, we feel like people in South Jersey can't drive.
And we feel like y'all can't drive.
Right, so it's this thing. But when you think back to, I guess, your childhood and the journey, your teenage years into getting where you are today, or is there anything that sticks out to you, whether positive or negative, that may have played a part in, because I know further, down in adulthood, there were some really trying times for you. Is there anything that you look back at as an adult and say, that was a pivotal moment?
Absolutely. But most of the time when I go back and revisit that, they're mostly negative. Mostly negative emotions and things of that nature, because I endured a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Right. And although I went through a lot in my adult years, a lot of that was as a result of me not adequately dealing with the trauma that I endured as a child.